Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit patriawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
George, I know you're chomping at the bit to give me hell about the Braves starting off so horrible this season after taking on the Phillies earlier this week. We'll get to that. Just let's get to some of the topical stuff, then I'll let you.
I would never pick on you, my friend.
You are a liar to me, George. I know you were like, can we start with that? No, we'll get to that momentarily. But first and foremost, George, I think it's worth mentioning that you do a lot of work with widows across the community. And look, it's not a fun conversation, but it's a part of life. It's a reality. And there are strategies specifically for the widows.
Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, there's about 72% of females will be either single, widowed, or divorced in retirement. It's sad that I think in our households, we have our jobs, right? Mark, you have your job with Gretchen at home. I have my jobs. Leslie's the boss, and I joke about that all the time, but it's truly the seriousness. She keeps the family together. I handle the bills. I do the financial planning for the family.
I kill the spiders.
I do that too. But we all have our jobs in the house. I think what makes, and I talk about Leslie so much, but we are a team, how we plan for everything. I may handle the day-to-day part of the bills and retirement planning, but every quarter we get together and go over it together so we know what's going on. So in the event that, God forbid, something happens to me, I don't want my wife to be lost. And a lot of women, unfortunately, we have our jobs, and the husband says, don't worry, I took care of it. I'm taking care of it. Everything's good. And what happens if he passes away unexpectedly? Or worse yet, I have a customer in Pennsylvania, great lady, married for 37 years. Husband came home and said, I don't want to be married anymore. And she was starting from ground zero. It's terrible. Unfortunately, it's part of the way the world is and the way people act, unfortunately, in our society. So when we're together, I want to work with widows. I want to work with people that have going through that grade retirement, grade divorce, because I look at that, and my mom was kind of in that regard, respect, I guess, in that class. My parents had always grew up, mine was tight, never knew how bad it was. When my father dropped dead at 62, my mom was virtually homeless. And maybe if mom had had someone to sit there and hold her hand and help her go through this and plan and have an understanding, maybe things wouldn't have been so bad. Maybe they could have worked together better to be in a better place. Maybe when dad passed away, mom wouldn't have been lost having her 5 children pick up the slack to make sure she was taken care of. And that was our job. And I would never change anything about that. I hopefully would have changed having her prepare better. But if you're in that class, or God forbid you're going through that nasty divorce, or you maybe just lost one of your loved ones, give us a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's just make sure that things that have to be done are done. Call me at 302-330-2166. You know, things that you don't think about, like my husband or my wife was taking his required minimum distributions. Do I still need to take them? How about tax season? You know, taxes are on right now. Do you have to file a tax return if your spouse passed away? Yes, you do. You still have to claim that in the next tax season. How about, Social Security? Do I turn it off? How do I switch it? It's a lot of questions. And unfortunately, when that happens, are you thinking clearly? No. I had a customer over in New Jersey, and I work with him and his father died last week. He was sick, and this is never the right thing, I guess, but it's a blessing because he's not in pain anymore. He's at peace.
Agreed.
I was like number 3 or 4th person he called after he called his sister and his brother to say, George, what do we do now? Do I have to call Social Security today? Do I have to, what about my dad's pension? What about X, Y, and Z? That's what we're here for. Mark, I guess a lot of people say things in life, but one of the things that we preach every day at Patria Wealth, my team and I, is you are not a client. You are not going to come in here and be customer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and sit down at the end of the line. We'll get to you when we get to you. You are truly, Patria in Greek means family.
Yes, sir.
And you are part of my family. That's why we get those phone calls on Saturday at night at 10 o'clock when something, God forbid, happened. You know you're going to call and we're going to talk to you and take care of it with you and work through it with you. But if you're going through that now, maybe you just want to have a conversation. I don't know what to do. My advisor won't have an answer for me. He says, talk to your tax guy is the biggest answer people get. Well, that's not my department. Go talk to the guy down, H&R Block or whoever you're dealing with. That's not the way this works with Patria. So give us a call. Let's have that cup of coffee together. Let's sit and talk, and let's put your mind at ease, if nothing else. 302-330-2166.
Yeah, because Patria in Greek, it means family. And when you work with George and the team, you become part of the family. Again, that number is 302-330-2166. We invite you to call now. It's the speed bumps in life. And we say it often, George, that you're not with us just to retirement. You're with us through retirement as well.
Absolutely. That's just the stepping stone. We're building up for that. It's the marathon race.
Yes, sir.
You're training, doing all these different exercises to get ready. And then you go to the marathon and you start the long course, and that's retirement. We're going to push you through that. Because when you sit and say, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I supposed to pay this in taxes? How do I do? That's what we're here for. Whether it's making sure your retirement plan's turned on correctly, working the right way. Where are you going to pull the money from retirement? Which bucket of income? Is my Medicare signed up? Is my Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement plan lined up? That's what we have Angie for. Angie is outstanding at this. She does it every day. And to be quite honest, people ask me about this. I'm like, okay, so Angie is 302-307-1498. You need to talk to Angie. I'll switch you over to her.
Right.
Because I have no darn clue about it. I do a little bit, but I'll say, you might as well talk to us in Greek. We speak Greek, but it's Angie that handles this every day, and that's why we give it to her.
Because she's lived through it as well.
She knows the answers, and she lived through this. Mm-hmm. Why not talk to someone that is there in the, I guess the right word's trenches?
Sure, yeah.
In the trenches with you. That's Angie. That's why we do this. I want everything under one place. So you come in, we do the managed funds in-house. We have the fixed index annuities, do pension planning. We have Medicare. We have long-term care, which we always talk about. But it's all working together as one unit. It's in-house. We get the wills done. We get the trust handled for you. It's done in-house. We have the CPA we work with is Ernie Calais, and it's all done here in-house. You know, we're talking about tax season, right? People are still sitting there saying, good Lord, I'm getting a refund, or oh my gosh, I had to pay this bill by April 15th on Tuesday. It had to be paid. But how about that required minimum distribution? Required minimum distribution, the RMD. Mark, our clients out there, our family members to be, are out here, and they have these accounts, and they're getting older in age now, right? You're working towards that age. And let's give an example about where you pull the money from. We have a client, I'll call her Janice.
Okay.
Janice has managed funds with us, which are qualified from her 401k. We're investing them for her, working with those. She has safe money with us. We have annuities with her for safety, guaranteed growth, income, protection from market fluctuations, which we're all going through right now.
Yes, sir.
And we have another qualified account for her. And then she has her old TSP. And she has an account with her old advisor that my husband dealt with him before he died. I feel obligated to keep this here. Great, no problem. Well, we have to take out a certain amount of money every year based on your age, right? All these different questions. And all the stuff that we have, people think I take it out of each account. So if I have 5 required minimum distribution accounts, I got to take it out of each account what I need. You don't have to do that. You got to take the total amount owed out of one of those accounts, which is the most beneficial for you. Well, Janice just called last week saying, George, I got this notice. Do I take money out of this account I have with John? I'm like, well, we need to make sure how much is it for. We had to go do all the work, but we satisfied the need through our business. That's why it's important to keep things together. So you have one hat covering you. You have one team working for you to make sure you don't have those penalties. And there are penalties if you don't do it. Make sure you don't have the fees, because there will be fees against you if you don't prepare properly. But when you work with me at Patria Wealth, we're going to make sure that's taken care of. So give us a call, 302-330-2166, or go to Patria Wealth, Patria Wealth.com, and let's schedule that no-cost, no-obligation meeting. Enough gray, enough confusion, right? Let's get things down to black and white.
Yes, sir.
Because you need to plan for this. We're going to have a great time going through retirement with you. We're going to do a lot of fun things together. You're going to live a great life in retirement. Do everything you want to, you dreamt of, and really deserve to do. Let me be the guide to help you get through that, to make those decisions, to make that educated choices so you get in the right place going forward.
Again, that number is 302-330-2166. Again, 330-2166. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you. A couple of quick pieces of information. Give me a name, a phone number, an email address. What is your biggest concern for your retirement strategies? But the most important question they're going to ask you is, when is it convenient for you to sit down with George and the team to begin customizing a retirement plan? It's the Family First Retirement Plan, and it's no cost, no obligation this weekend. 302-330-2166. Or again, as George just said, PatriaWealth.com. All right, you ready to get into this volatile market, George? Roll your sleeves up a little bit. It's like when a storm comes in and the meteorologists roll up their sleeves, you know it's getting serious.
Well, why do they always have to be outside? They're watching the wind. They're flying and holding on to the pole just so we actually know it's raining and blowing a tornado or a hurricane.
Because you never know.
I think they always put the young people out there and let them float away.
Well, yeah, because if they get hit by a branch, they can bounce back.
That's exactly.
If I get hit by a branch, I'm done.
Well, you have no cap protection there, Mark.
All right.
You're
what? Say it.
No, I don't want to say that, my friend. Let's get into this, my friend.
All right, here we go.
It's crazy enough as it is.
A lot of adults are concerned about their retirement savings because of the increased market volatility. You see it every single day, but you're going to hear some advisors say, just relax, just be patient. But, George, that's always not the best advice. So what are you telling adults who are worried about the market and how it's going to affect their retirement savings?
Have we had a correction in the markets lately? Yes, we have. It's been scary for a lot of people. But this is what part of the planning process about getting into retirement's about. I don't know about you. I don't go to the grocery store and put all my eggs and my milk on top of them in one brown bag and walk out, or one of those plastic bags with a handle, hope it doesn't break.
Don't put the eggs at the bottom.
You got to spread this out. You got to have different avenues. And every instrument for retirement, whether it's a 401k, a TSP, an IRA, a 403b, has its pluses and minuses. You have to diversify asset allocation and diversify your accounts to give you more flexibility, more protection. And protection right now is what we're seeing. Right now the market's down, pick a number, 15%. Mm-hmm. We're probably another 5 to 7% before it corrects itself, coming back up. A lot of external forces working here. We have tariffs getting put in place, bring countries to the table, make us a more leveled playing ground, which is a good thing, I think. We have finding out where our wasted money is going, trying to recuperate people's losing our money, giving it away for frivolous duties, not all of it, but some of it. So we have some volatility, outside external forces striking here. You have the money you're investing in the future, because you still need, folks, whether you're retired or not, you still need some risk. You still need to go to the gym and work out. You need to get bigger and stronger and take some risk. But not all of it should be risk. So you need to have some diversification, another bucket of income or avenues of income. And a great place for this is safe money using a fixed indexed annuity. You have no fees. You have no charges. When the market's crashing like it is right now, going down that 15%, guess what? You didn't lose a cent. The number of calls I got this week saying, George, how's our retirement money? How's that annuity doing? And the answer is fantastic. We haven't lost a cent. Even now is a good time for an annuity, because think about it. You're buying in. The markets are down. You're going to name a store you like, Mark. My wife likes to shop.
Golf Warehouse. PGA Tour Superstore.
And they're having a great sale right now because they're overstocked. So you're going to buy that club that normally is $200. You're buying for $125. You got a hell of a deal. Getting in with annuities right now, you're getting a really low start-in rate, along with maybe a bonus. So when the market goes up, you're going to be able to capitalize on that. And if it keeps going down, guess what? I still have what I started with. I never lost anything. Mm-hmm. That's what's so important about having this break. Those advisors, don't worry about it. It's only a paper loss. Mm-hmm. Guess what? It's my paper loss. I got a problem with that, because I looked at this account 3 weeks ago and I had $500,000. I look in that account today and I have $435,000. I got a problem. And even though they say everything comes back, and it does, we know nothing outperforms stock market over time. Time is a relative factor, isn't it, Mark?
Yes, sir.
If you're retiring today and I just lost $60,000, I'm not retiring either. A, I'm not going to retire, or B, I'm not going to have the safety and the performance I want in retirement that I thought I was. If I retire in 3 years, it's different. But it's when it happens, when it occurs, as to how good that is. That's why I think it's so important that people don't try and be one of those DIYs. I can do it myself. I can type it in. It tells me what to do. I'm good to go. The internet tells me everything because Google says it. It must be true.
Always so.
Oh my gosh. If that's the case, I'm 6'7" because they said it must be true. But you need to have someone that does it every day. You need someone that has the portfolio for you to go with, the blend for you to go with. Some risk, some safety, emergency funds put away. Having the right plan. It includes what? Social Security planning. It includes income planning. How about long-term care? How about Medicare? That's part of a holistic plan to get us in the right place so that when these times occur, we're still here to help you. Achilles' phones rang and people say, how's it going? What are we doing? What position are we going to be in? And you know what's really awesome? The first thing is he's answering the phone as he should be. How many advisors do you know aren't taking your calls?
Well, it's past 5:30. I mean, I'm done working,
Absolutely.
George.
Guess what? When you work for a family business, Patria Wealth, that 5:30 ticky-tock clock doesn't work. That's what family does. So give us a call. Let's look at what you have. Let's see how it's performing, making sure it's doing what you want it to do. 302-330-2166. Most of us don't do this for a living, correct?
Correct.
We do the radio as a host like Mark Owens does, or we have a construction job, or we're secretarial, or whatever. We do that really, really well. Why are you trying to sit there and do something you have an idea about? I heard it on TikTok. My brother's friend's sister's dentist said this. I don't give a rat's backside what my brother's sister's friend's dentist said. He is not me. I am unique. Mark is unique. The person driving in the car right now going to watch their grandson play soccer is unique. Your situation is different. And you need someone that's going to look at it from a holistic point of view and not put you in a box. What was that Dirty Dancing line?
Don't put baby in the corner. Nobody put baby
in the corner.
That's it.
Don't put all of us in the same corner saying that I'm 65, so I have to be in this type of plan. No, I don't. You don't know what my wants are, my needs, my desires are. When you work with Patria Wealth, we're going to ask those questions. I know what I want to do in retirement, but what do you want to do? You're going to live at the beach with your family or travel the world or take that cruise around the world for 6 months a year. We have customers that go on cruises 5 times a year, and they love it. I'm not a boat person.
A lot of Dramamine.
Oh, my good Lord. I can't even go fish in the tub. But it's about building the plan, building the retirement that you want, that you desire, and that you're looking to take forward.
302-330-2166. It begins with a phone call this weekend to George Politarhos and the team at the Patria Wealth Group. And as you just heard, it's George, Achilles, Angie, Jared, Ernie. Those are the team members that you'll be working with. Those are the hands you're going to shake. And probably with Angie, that's the hug you're going to get. When we say, we're not being cliched, like Patria in Greek, it means family. I think the first time I met Angie, it was, 3 or 4 years ago, I broke my damn neck. But I love it. I look forward every time I see her. 302-330-2166. You can meet the team at patriawealth.com. Oh, George, we're almost out of time, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to talk about it. Atlanta Braves starting off horrible.
Do they play
this
in
season.
Atlanta? Any sports?
No, they do. Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we won a World Series back in 21. The Bulldogs won a couple of natties. That was 4 years ago.
Please. Anyway.
Please. All right.
How are they doing this year?
Horrible. I'll be the first one to say awful. Embarrassingly bad.
Are they not ready to play?
No. Here's the thing. So that's my point. So if you're not a baseball fan, let me just tell you, I'm a big Braves fan, born and raised in Atlanta. I worked for the team for 16 seasons.
Hey, folks, before Mark says another word, I got it. We go to Atlanta quite often, and I'm with my good friend. We'll go out to the Battery, which is the Braves stadium area.
It's a bar and restaurant district.
People see Mark Owens like, oh my God, you're Mark Owens. Can I have your picture? And I'm like, he's a little dweeb. What are you talking about? He has a chrome head. He's sitting there, and they're like, sure, how you doing? He is the man, the myth, the legend of Atlanta baseball.
And then they see George, and they go, who is that? I was like, second-rate security. But
Joey from Friends, the fat version.
So the Braves started off horrible. Started the season 0-7. One of our starting pitchers went on the IL with shoulder surgery. Jerickson Profar, a big offseason signee, got busted for PEDs. He's suspended for 80 games. So needless to say, it took them, 8 games to get their first win. But George,
they got it.
They got it. We're the one in 162. There are some pundits that said the Braves were just not prepared coming into the season, not properly prepared. George, that's what we preach every weekend here on Family First Retirement, the power of proper planning.
Absolutely. And I know the Braves, they're a professional baseball team. All professionals prepare to go to work every day, or they should. Did they prepare for this type of onslaught of the season?
They weren't mentally
prepared. They made
prepared.
a mistake.
Nope. Yep.
They made a mistake. That's not going to happen. That should not happen when you're planning for retirement. If you're 5 years away, if you're a month away, you need to properly get all your ducks in a row. When you work with us here at Patria Wealth, myself and my team, we're going to help you get those ducks lined up.
Hey, George, one thing about the Atlanta Braves, they got a lot of baseball left this season to make good after a horrible start. But, George, somebody's listening this weekend, and they feel like they're late to the game, if you will. But it's never too late to get starting putting a retirement strategy together.
Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. Just like the Braves are going to rebound. We know that. They're not this bad of a team. They have a solid team. So is your retirement. Let us sit there and take it. And if we took a step back this last couple of weeks or last month, guess what? There's nothing we can do about the past, right? Let's just make sure we prepare for the future the best way. Call us at 302-330-2166 or go to Patria Wealth, Patria Wealth.com, and let's start that conversation.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.